Wildflower and welcome back to Wild Recaps. I've been dropping content from Zeus Network, but now it is time to bring something different to the channel. I bring to you the Love is Blind Season 7 recap. If you didn't know, Love is Blind is a reality show on Netflix where people who are way younger than you would expect come on the show to talk to potential mates through a wall and make a connection. It's only after a proposal when they actually get to see each other for the first time. Now, if that sounds wild, it is. The couples will go to Mexico to be able to spend time together in person, but not all couples get chosen for this trip. Tomorrow is the reunion, so let's recap the whole season. There are plenty of people who start the show off looking for love, but naturally we only zero in on a few potential couples, the ones that give us the best juice or the most loving moments. Our main couples we'll be discussing are Garrett and Taylor, Marissa and Ramses, Monica and Steven, Ashley and Tyler, Alex and Tim, Leo, Brittany, Hannah, and Nick. Yeah, there was a love triangle, so let's start off with that. Hannah was speaking with Nick, D, and Leo. Brittany was also speaking to Leo. Leo is an art dealer who inherited a lot of money and is afraid that a girl will only want him for his money, although that's all he talks about. I really hope that's the way they cut it and tried to portray him because we didn't really get much personality, just that he's young and rich. Hannah in the pods, that's where they call the rooms that they talked in. She came off young, just young, you know, she's 26. She really didn't start annoying me until later on with Nick, but we'll get into that. Brittany is another blonde, older than Hannah, only dates rich men type of lady. Now, Leo is torn between the two, while Hannah is torn between Nick, D, and Leo. Throughout this whole ordeal, I feel like Brittany was the one waiting on Leo. She didn't even have anyone else she was interested in, and I didn't really like that for her. Eventually, Leo does ask Hannah, but she goes back to Nick after originally telling Nick no, that she's chosen someone else. But when she finds out that the someone else, Leo, has someone else, Brittany, that's when she goes back to Nick and reconciles with him. And that's when Leo and Brittany decide to pair up. Now, when Hannah goes back to Nick D, this is when I was most annoyed and I knew that it wasn't going to be the end of it. This is what she said that I thought was so ridiculous.
Be completely honest with you.
Of course.
I'm scared that the reason why you like me so much is because you think I'm hot.
But nonetheless, her and Nick end up together and chosen to go to Mexico. Brittany and Leo pair up but did not get chosen to go to Mexico. They instead went on their own trip to Miami, but ended up splitting after that. We have Tim and Alex. So let's get right into these two. Did y'all see this crashing and burning the way it did? In the pods, the conversation was deep and vulnerable, but the physical connection was not connecting like that. To me, at first, he came off really mellow, Tim, and Alex seemed like the uptight one. But by the end of their time together, it seems like the roles reversed. Now, apparently there was an argument where Alex was verbally out of line. It was said that she covered his mouth in another incident, but she says she never touched him. She just put her hand up. And I believe her. I believe Tim is more sensitive than he likes to give off. I believe Alex may be a little too messy for his taste and maybe not attentive enough to him emotionally. But that could be because she says Tim shuts down. The whole thing about her taking a nap before having to be somewhere after already being with him and his family all day, that was ridiculous. Like, why are you so mad about that? She spoke to them before she went to sleep. There was a few articles about it, one in which I'm referencing from vulture.com. She communicated the situation. She needed a nap before she dipped. They seemed to be fine about it. Now, if they weren't and they were just trying to be nice, that's weird. The nap thing is weird. I do get Tim's frustration over her not helping with cleaning when everything was done. I get the whole, why do I have to tell you to help thing? I get it. But since this was the first time and y'all are a new couple, maybe she deserves grace and a little time to learn life with you. And see, this is why this whole experiment to me is just so dangerous. Look, if Alex can be more clean or not, maybe she can find someone soon because I don't see too much wrong. I mean, she had a little toot at the beginning, but we all do sometimes. That doesn't mean she doesn't deserve a man. Tim seems like a well-raised man too, but I want him to be a little more open about his actual emotions so someone can actually learn to love him. I think for people who are more sensitive, it takes our partners being aware of that, of course, and learning how to deal with that with you, basically. So, needless to say, but we're still going to say it, these two did not make it down the aisle. We talked about the conclusion to a part of the love triangle before, so let's hop back on what happened with Hannah and Nick D. Well, plain and simply, Nick was not ready to be the man of anyone's house. Hannah is way more mature when it comes to taking care of herself. She's more outspoken and comes off very rude and even emasculating sometimes to Nick. Even her friends agree that she can be that way. However, I do think that Hannah would act differently if she had someone she could respect. She couldn't respect Nick because they just weren't in the same place. Like I said, Nick seems like a good guy though. He has a sense of humor, seems like a family guy, but he's not ready to be married. The man still lives with his parents and hasn't taken over his bills yet, all of them. So no shade, there's no shame in getting help from your parents, but this is a part of the reason why him and Hannah weren't a match.
Maybe situation, for example, because I can use specific examples. I don't know if you can, but I can. And because I remember things I know you don't.
But you see how you're always demeaning, you're always talking down on me. We're not equals here. It doesn't feel that way at all.
Marissa and Ramses. So I always felt a little flippy-floppy about these two, as in if they work at it and accept differences, it can work. At the same time, I feel like they mostly have fun together, so I don't know how doing life together would go because of some of the core values not matching up. Also, the scene when Ramses meets Marissa's mom. Her mom was a little pessimistic, but I like that she was being hard on him and their union because the shit is too soon. She brought up real things that they should think about, like Ramses, are you actually going to be able to provide the way that Marissa wants to be provided for? Always a real question. Also, when Marissa needs space, Ramses seems to struggle with that. That can be worked on too, of course, but there were too many heavy things that were too iffy. Plus, her mom may have rubbed him the wrong way. I mean, he barely knew Marissa. Been humping and he-heeing with her in Mexico just to come be drilled by her mom, who he barely knew either of them. So I'm sure that felt weird and may have been some sort of reality check for Ramses. So yeah, they didn't make it. Ramses ends it with Marissa, and the way the girl cried made me cry. She was squealing. I hated it for her so bad. I hated it even more when she asked him if he was sure. Like, mama, get in here and get her up. She is too pretty and too smart to even be on here. Especially getting denied by someone who has 2 rat tails and apparently not enough money. If you made it this far and you're liking the vibes right now, go ahead and like the video. Monica and Steven. Now, I thought these two were so cute and were gonna work, but cute don't cut it. Steven was a freak, y'all. A girl on my Facebook said in the pod that they found out Steven had a little black ancestry, and after that they were like, let's get married. Well, she definitely missed something, because after Mexico she saw some text messages in his phone, she being Monica, freaky ones, to another.
Why did you do this? Why did you propose? Why did you come here? Like, who are you? Doing it today, Steven. You texted her today, and the really gross ones were today. So don't lie to me. Before you leave, I would like you to Venmo me the money you owe me for me carrying your weight the last couple days, if you wouldn't mind taking out your phone.
I was disgusted for her and proud that she left. Good for you, you know. Like many on here, you are too beautiful. Go find a guy the regular way. Online dating. Ashley and Tyler. When I think Ashley and Tyler, I think of 2 white people. But no, more blacks with Eurocentric names. I kid. Let's talk about one of the better unions here on this season. I pretty much liked them from the start. Everything was lining up for me, or for them rather. You can tell they were attracted to each other when they did get to the laying of the eyes. Later we find out that he has his own kids. Yes, but wait, it's not like that. See, that's how they painted it because Ashley was being all dramatic about it. He donated sperm to a homosexual couple. Commendable, but nothing that's going to threaten your union. I don't know why she made a big deal like they're going to have to raise them kids. Ultimately, though, I am rooting for you all. You're a beautiful black couple. Lastly, and kind of least as well, Taylor and Garrett. I knew they would make it through. Even if they didn't marry on the show because of timing, I believe they would have still married. They just seemed to match each other. Now, there was one moment when Garrett told Taylor he was contacted by the other girl, but he didn't reply. But when he got to the table, he told Ashley and Tim that he did respond, which was a weird switch up. The stuff he said in the messages wasn't bad, it was just more, which I get, Taylor. I barely know you. You do something inconsistent. That scares me, especially when he didn't give the phone when she asked. Maybe he did later and she saw that it was a regular combo, one that he could have missed, but you know, nothing to break up over. So those were all of our main couples, how they started and ended. Tomorrow is the reunion, which I believe is live on Netflix. We're looking for some answers about Tim and Alex. Maybe they get them to tell us more details about their back and forth. Is Marissa salty about Ramses, or does she see that she's better without him? What will Marissa's mother's comments be? I want to see how Steven is going to save face. I want to see where Hannah and Nick are now. I want to know what happened with Leo and Brittany in Miami. And of course, how the new and old couples are holding up, because last reunion they included couples that were still married from the show, you know, as a glimmer of hope. That was it for this recap. That was Love is Blind Season 7 on Netflix. You can catch the reunion tomorrow and catch me right back here to talk about it. But you gotta subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you, and see you after the reunion.